So I start. We're live.
All right. So last time you had explored, for the first time, the ruins of Harrowstone, that fabled prison just outside of the sleepy little town of Ravengro that had turned out to be so weird over the last couple of days. And the ruins certainly try to one-up the town in terms of weirdness. Every single room seems to have its own particular oddity just waiting for you. There were manacles attacking you, animated by some foul spirit within. There were giant spiders that had taken over a little chapel space. And of course, there was this haunt that had almost locked you into one of the rooms, and that you were only able to overcome by pretty much destroying the entire room, or at least all the doors that lead into it.
And served it well.
It served you well, although it may have been a bit of an overkill solution, but it certainly solved the situation. But these tactics are surely not going to help you with the encounter that you found yourselves in when we left the game last time, because when you had moved into what looked like a workshop of sorts with tangled mounds of moth-eaten fabric sitting on several wooden tables, each surrounded by workbenches. There are various sewing tools, shears, needles, rolls of thread, boxes of chalk, and other objects that lie scattered over the floor, while the arm of what appeared to be a skeleton protruded from a stained heap of fabric to the west. And when you moved into the room, it was from that skeletal arm that a manifestation coalesced into a human shape, and to be more precise, into the shape of a woman. She appears before you as a beautiful young woman dressed in a tattered but lovely blue dress. In fact, much about this ghost is blue, including her hair, the tears that run from her pale blue eyes, and the clouds of smoke that drift from her lips when she speaks. Her death may have been hard on her, but she still looks very much like she must have when she was alive. As you watch in awe as her spirit manifests, she finally fixes her eyes on you and says, "Who are you, and what are your intentions in this place?"
Emaírel, go talk to her.
Geier kind of nudges Emaírel with his shoulder.
We seek to lay the spirits in this place to rest.
And
The
the
spirit?
professor.
So you feel it too?
Yes.
My husband has warded over them for many a year, but now that he's gone, I sense what you must be sensing. They are rising up once again. They're looking for a way out of this place. I cannot hold them in much longer. They've started to chip away from my essence. Are you really here to help?
Yes, but we will need your help to achieve that.
I will try to help you as good as I can. I'm sure you must have questions.
Crow kind of closes his dangling jaw for a moment, trying to recover from this apparition appearing, and then he kind of hesitantly steps forward, and he says, "You mentioned your husband.
Yes.
This is the warden of this place. You are his wife?"
I am Vezoriana Hawkran. And my husband was, I'm afraid, the warden of this place. They took him.
Took him? Who took him? Took him where? Took him how? Is he, as you are?
Yes, he is a spirit just like me. But they must have found a way to abduct him. These visitors. They came in dark robes. They spoke only in whispers. They came not long ago, and I watched them through the walls of this place, working strange magic around the building's foundations. Alas, I cannot leave this room, so I was helpless. I could only observe and watch. I saw them inscribe runes along the ground, and I saw how they killed a man, slain by their foul magic, wielded by their leader.
How many were they?
There must have been a dozen, I believe. But it was their leader that frightened me the most. A thin, gray-skinned man who wore a bone breastplate, carried a black staff capped with a skull gagged by a black cloth. He seemed to be very powerful.
And Arronax, meanwhile, will peek from behind Geier and ask if they killed the man. Was it Professor Lorimer?
I don't know who that professor is, but it was an elderly man. He was confronting them during their strange rituals, and their leader just slay him with a simple wave of his hands. And then they took the man's body. They lay him just in front of the walls, and they smashed his head with a gargoyle's statue. It was very vile to watch.
It must have been the professor, and they set it up.
Grim resolve.
These runes, where are they? Can we see the runes?
If you look around the room, she says, they're not in here. While I cannot leave this place, I can see through its walls. They inscribed them outside of this place, right onto the foundations. It must have been what fueled their ritual.
So if we erase these runes, will that release the spirits?
I don't think so. I think the runes already served their purpose. After they murdered that man, they finished their ritual. Whatever they did, they did it out of sight of my view through the walls, but I felt the effects of their ritual immediately. It felt like a horrific storm, yet one with no wind that chilled the flesh. This windstorm chilled the soul. It felt as if my very being was being pulled apart. But it passed in an instant. And when it had, the presence of my husband's spirit was gone. I could have always feel him down below this floor at the prison level. He was there, in there, with them, keeping them in there, serving his role as a warden even after he died. But now that he's gone, I don't know how long the spirits of these terrible criminals are going to be imprisoned much longer.
This people, were they looking for a particular spirit, perhaps?
Well, I believe they have somehow managed to abduct my husband's spirit.
So it was he they were looking for. It's as the professor feared. He's too late. They have finished.
Do you know why would they want to take away your husband?
I don't. All I know is that every day since that event, the spirits of those murderous and sadists trapped within the walls of Harrowstone have grown more and more powerful. I know that my husband's presence kept the other haunts in line, and now with his ghost gone, they would have escaped to wreak unimaginable havoc if I had not stepped in to do my husband's job that he did until just recently so well. But as I said, I feel them slowly eating away my resolve. There's one of their numbers. The Splatter Man is what he calls himself. I believe he is the most powerful of them, and he's leading the uprising of the dead.
Oh, spirit, I am but a gravedigger, and I see no body to bury, but if there's any way we can assist you.
Well, I feel that among the hateful dead, 5 are particularly powerful personalities. And I suspect that these correspond to the 5 most dangerous criminals who were imprisoned in Harrowstone by the time that terrible fire raged. I know their names, and I know that if you could confront and defeat these unquiet spirits, then I might be able to contain the rest and keep the other 5 from manifesting again. If you can defeat all 5 and bring to me a symbol of my husband's office over the prison, I might be able to banish the Hans from Harrowstone entirely. Of course, that would release me from this world as well. But it will end the haunting of Harrowstone for good.
Well, Spirit, it is the least we can do for you, for your husband, for the people of Ravengru, and for Professor Lorimore.
Indeed, Dr. Meanwhile walks out from behind Geier and sits at the table. Now, if you please, the names, and we will take note of them and go down the list. He takes a sheet of paper from his notebook and prepares to write them down.
Okay. There is one man. His name is Sapphic Corvin, but he was called Father Charlatan. He was, of the five, he was the only one who was not technically a murderer, but his crimes were so blasphemous that several churches demanded he be punished to the full extent of Ustalavic law. He claimed to be an ordained priest of any number of faiths, but he was in fact a traveling con artist who used faith as a mask and a means to bilk the faithful out of money in payment for false miracles or cures. Then there was one they called the Lopper. When the Lopper stalked prey, he would hide in the most unlikely of places, sometimes for days upon end, with only a few supplies to keep him going while he waited for the exact right moment to strike. Once his target was alone, the Lopper would emerge to savagely behead his victim with a hand axe. Another of the group went by the name of Ispin Onyx Cudgel, but he was better known as the Mosswater Marauder. He was from the town of Mosswater, but 5 years before, his hometown was destined to be overrun and ruined by monsters from the nearby river. Onyx Cudgel was a well-liked artisan and a doting husband. When he discovered his wife's infidelity, he flew into a jealous rage and struck her dead with his hammer, shattering her skull and his sanity with one murderous blow. Racked with shame and guilt, Espin became convinced that if he could rebuild his wife's skull, she would come back to life. But unfortunately, he could not find the last blade-shaped fragment from the murder site. So instead, Ispin became the Mosswater Marauder. Over the course of several weeks, the cunning dwarf stalked and murdered nearly 20 people while searching for just the right skull fragment. He was captured just before murdering the daughter of a visiting nobleman from Varno, and he was carted off to Harrowstone that same night. The fourth in this band of monsters has no known name. We just know him as the Piper of Ilmarsh. Before he snatched his victims, the Piper taunted his targets with a mournful dirge on his flute. He preferred to paralyze lone victims by dosing their meals with lich dust, and then allowed his pet sturges to drink the victims dry of blood. And then, of course, there's Hien Ferriman, or, as he fancies himself, the Splatter Man. He used to be a professor and a celebrated scholar of anthroponomastics at the Quarterfo Archives in Caliphas. Yet he became obsessed with the power of a name and how he could use it to terrify and control. Soon enough, his reputation was ruined. He'd lost his tenure, and he developed an uncontrollable obsession with an imaginary link between a person's name and what happens to that name when the person dies. Every few days, he would secretly arrange for his victim to find a letter from her name written in blood, perhaps smeared on a wall or spelled out with carefully arranged entrails. Once he had spelled his victim's name, he would at last come for her, killing her in a gory mess using a complex trap or series of rigged events meant to look like an accident. And it is him of whom you must be most wary, because even back at that horrible night, he was leading the uprising, and if it weren't for him, this place would have never ended up in the tragedy that it is today.
Thank you.
Gustav is no stranger to tragedy, but this seems like more than the usual standard.
Well, this is a place where they drove these people specifically to contain them. So no wonder this prison teems with horrible beings. Yeah, Dr. Arronax visibly uncomfortable with this.
Doctor, how do you propose we dispose of these spirits? I very much doubt a shovel and a blunderbuss will be effective tools. I guess things that are already dead.
I have only two means of disposing of them. That would be the holy water and the bombs.
Well, it seems like last time stabbing worked too.
Well, we might try to stab the ghost spirits as well.
I can tell you that if you find objects of value that once belonged to the 5 spirits, that you can use those objects against the 5 souls. I would suggest checking the prison's property room to the southeast first. But be warned before you go that while these objects will aid you in defeating the deathless inmates, they are likely also cursed by the unholy link to the long-dead criminals, and care should be taken when using them.
Let's see.
I guess we're cursed one way or another.
Well, we'll have to keep it in mind then. Now, Miss Vissarianas, where do we find this room?
It's to the very southeast on this floor.
Uh-huh.
I'm afraid I cannot take you there, because I'm bound to this room.
Well, we very much appreciate all that you've told us, and with your blessing, I think we'll be on our way.
You have my blessings, and you hold all my hope. I feel my resolve fading every day, and I hope you will put an end to this before it's too late. Whoosh! And she disappears.
Five spirits, that seems like a lot to deal with.
Well,
I mean, we can try one at a time, and
yeah.
Just now, this is striking you as a lot to deal with. Just at this moment. I'm sorry, gentlemen, but is this not madness?
Well, it most certainly is. I mean,
We came here looking for answers about our departed friend, and instead we are now to go around slaughtering spirits somehow, as Geier pointed out with a shovel, a blunderbuss. Who are we? What are we doing here? This is insanity.
Well, Professor Lorimer asked us in his last will to take care of his daughter, and if we leave a prison full of raging undead spirits, they would inevitably come for us, right? Especially now after we disturbed their peace already.
Is Lorimer's daughter here? I do not see why we don't just return to the mansion and wait out our time and get our inheritance and move on with our lives.
Oh, well, we have already had one undead invasion in the Raven Grove. So what exactly do you think stopped them from doing another?
That was a few crawling hands and some departed grandmothers and such. That's not so uncommon in this land, but this is...
Come now, Crow. Not only is it the right thing to do, but do you have any other pressing business to attend?
I have pressing business to attend, and that is keeping my head on my neck.
That's a wish I can understand and empathize with. But I implore you to look at the bigger picture here.
And hey, it'll make a hell of a story.
I've already heard stories. Did you not hear childhood tales of the Piper? Or was that just me?
Exactly. Now think. We could be the ones to bring him down. Not from life, but from the undeath.
How about this? What if we went and retrieved that fellow Alaric? He seemed to have a knack for dealing with the undead.
I think that would be wise.
I agree. Now that is thinking a bigger picture.
I suppose that he seemed more capable of dealing with these matters than, well, any of us here. I'm not even sure what any of you people do. You're some sort of doctor that makes explosives, and you are a Gravedigger, and I don't know what that elf is, but...
Well, at least I've seen Alaric in combat. I've seen him dispatch these foul creatures. It will certainly increase our odds.
Good idea. So, I suppose it's unanimous then. We shall make a tactical retreat. For now.
For now.
I'm happy to leave this place.
Oh, don't get too comfortable. We'll be coming right back. Also, it might be good to maybe get, a blessing of Pharasma, get some supplies, patched up a little bit.
All right. So, you go back the way you came, I assume?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Retrace our steps.
And since you've thoroughly took out all the doors to the first room, there's nothing keeping you there, and you make your way back to town. And what's your first stop in town?
Good question.
Well, I suppose it would be prudent to just stop at the Lorimer's place to check how the how our ward was doing in our absence.
All right. And when you get to Lorimer Place, you find Kendra is not home, apparently. She's at the town square, running some errands. But another face is there that you haven't seen for a couple of days. Alaric decided to show himself again.
Well, look who crawled out of his grave.
Ah, how fortuitous indeed. And we
Oh, hey guys.
yeah, we also crawled out of the grave with a masked one.
Huh. Oh, hey guys. What's new?
What's new?
What's new?
We're gonna need a stiff drink to catch you up.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go.
And
yeah,
we may have a task for you.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to Laughing Demon and we'll tell you all about it. I bet the guys in there will be also glad to hear the news from the prison.
Huh. It seems there's a lot to catch up here. Yeah, let's go. We definitely need to talk about this.
Okay.
Alright.
So, as a party, you move through town to the Laughing Demon. It is fairly noticeable how the general attitude towards you has shifted ever so slightly, but with the way that the people in town had looked at you when you arrived with that barely concealed distrust and almost hostility, that has given way to a more well-meaning indifference, so to speak, where you get the sense that even though you haven't grown up in this town, so you'll probably have a hard time to ever be considered a raven grower, but at least you are not sticking out as much as you used to. And so at the Laughing Demon, you feel... what does that sound?
Sorry.
Oh. At the Laughing Demon, you feel almost at home. Seeing all those familiar faces, and you take your seats at the bar. Zokar already welcoming you across the room as you walk in. Says, "Oh, I haven't seen you in a couple of days. I was afraid you'd found a new watering hole. But good luck in this town. Go on in, sit down, have a drink." Place is already pretty busy, which makes sense. It's the late afternoon, early evening, and people are starting to end their day's business. And what better way to do that than with a stiff drink from Zolkar's excellent collection?
I propose that perhaps we should find a more secluded table, because we're not here to socialize, at least not at the moment. We do need to bring Alaric up to speed and get preparations underway. The Wisp Way already has advantage over us. We've no time to waste.
Yeah, Dr. Arronax then will ask Zokar for a bottle of brandy, like for entire bottle, and shots for 5 people. And well, he will leave one of you to pick the table.
So yeah, whichever looks like a bit secluded, with whichever amounts the greatest amount of privacy, I think that's where we should go.
Yep, that would be down there. Yeah.
So I guess we just, recount the story.
Maybe you actually need to do that. I'm not sure if Alejandro is up to speed in person.
How much do you need to know?
Yes. What are we dealing with right now, guys?
Right. So the professor came here following the Whispering Way. He tried to stop them from conducting a ritual, which he failed to do and got him killed. We proceeded to investigate, and it turns out that, they did complete the ritual. The person they were looking for was the warden of Harrowstone. The wife of the warden, visibly upset at the turn of events, gave us a piece of advice in that if we deal with 5 of the most despicable and horrible tenants of Harrowstone prison, we might stand a chance to not die a horrible death.
You seem to be glossing over the fact that all of these people are dead, including the
what
wife
are
of the
these
warden.
people?
Oh, of course.
Yes, they're spirits, and we need to find cursed items that may, curse us or drive us mad in order to.
Have you guys already seen some of these ghosts?
Well, we saw the
We're pretty dirty and covered in blood, so
yeah.
Well, the ghosts, not most ghosts, spread blood. What type of ghosts have you seen?
Well, we saw the Lady Visoriana, who actually confined with us with all this information, and she was pretty friendly for an unrested spirit. Well, she didn't try to consume our essence or anything. That we know of, at least.
We've dealt with a lot of flying tools, manacles, scythes, those kind of things. Brands. Oh yeah, must not forget the brands.
And spiders. Lots of spiders.
I think the spiders were just, unfortunate.
Have you guys seen some of these? How we call them?
The Hateful Dead.
Prisoners of Harrowstone, or now habitants of this place?
The Hateful Dead, not yet. We've not had the pleasure of their acquaintance, but it's a matter of time.
Yeah,
we did see a horde of burning spirits trying to escape the prison when we first came in.
We did?
I suppose we saw them when we came out too, but the doors were removed from their hinges, so we just walked past them.
So yeah, and the first person we thought of helping us with it was you, Alaric.
Well,
yeah, you seem to have held your own in the previous crisis. Not afraid of a little undead.
This is not unlike something I've seen before, but there's this energy in this place, especially near that Harrowstone prison. Yeah, I think I can help you guys. Sorry if I was away for a few days. I had some personal matters to tend. It seems that things here are a lot worse than I thought before. Oh, here you are. Well,
Crow, would we be able to count on you?
Yes. I suppose I can come with, but only because I want to understand who these people were who murdered Lorimor.
Exactly. We can't let them go around murdering very respectable professors, right? I could be next after all.
Plus, look at the people here. They've taken a liking to us. I say that in like the most sarcastic tone I can.
I mean, can't disappoint them either.
I don't think we owe these people a lot, to be honest, but I think that we owe the professor and his daughter, and there was a reason why the professor was doing what he was doing, and we need to get to the end of this.
That and the dead must remain dead. It's just wrong otherwise.
As Alaric says that we owe the professor, Crow kind of like slumps down and his eyes kind of fall to the shot of brandy which he carried with him so far, but he hadn't touched. And when he hears that, he just takes it and he throws it back.
Ooh. Geier takes note that this is probably the first time I've seen him drink.
So,
well then,
when are we going to the prison again then?
I think as soon as we can lick our wounds and be ready to be off again.
Yes, and as soon as I prepare a new batch of mutagens, although it would be by tomorrow morning, it will be pretty soon.
I guess you guys already kind of packed up with what's necessary to deal with this type of evil, right?
Sort of. We already spent a little bit of our holy water, but I can always make more bombs.
What is necessary in your professional opinion, Alaric?
Well, to start with, a lot of luck. A few drinks for you guys. Lots of holy water. Well, I'm honestly not used to working in a party, but
I'm not sure that any of us are, to be honest.
well,
Are we content to let the spirits rest for another evening then?
Well, they are already restless, and I don't think we're in any condition to go back in there unprepared.
As horrible as that place was in the morning, I would rather not face it at night.
Too true.
Then it is decided, I suppose.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. So you head back to the mansion?
I suppose so.
Yes.
Okay. When you get there, Kendra is already home, and she has left some cold cuts and some bread out for you. A nice piece of smoked ham as well. And as you help yourselves to a good dinner, she stands in the doorway, leaning against the door frame, and she says, "So, where have you been all day? I've pretty much been up and down town today because I had some errands to do, and haven't seen you at all."
Field work.
Yes, we had some displeasure of picking up new investigations in this outside of town. Please don't worry too much. It will be over soon, I hope.
She grunts and throws her hands up. You're just like my father. Never you mind, don't you worry. And cryptic answers to straightforward questions. Fine, keep your secrets. I hope at least you're doing something useful. You might as well find out who keeps vandalizing the memorial, for example.
It keeps getting
Fill up
vandalized?
on my ham and don't answer any of my questions. Fine. He
Okay.
throws the door shut as she.
Oh well.
I don't think it's fine.
She'll be okay tomorrow. So, it seems that monument keeps getting vandalized.
Yeah, that can't stand.
Mm-hmm. Especially now that we are acquainted with the person who, well, immortalized in this memorial, I suppose. She was on the memorial, right, or not? Never mind. We at least now know people who related to this memorial, so we probably should honor their memory.
I don't really think it's time to worry a lot about the memorial. I think we have more pressing matters to tend.
What, I wonder, are they vandalizing the memorial with? Last time we only saw it as it was being scrubbed away. The ghost said something about runes being carved into the foundations of the asylum. Cannot help but wonder if some other activity is taking place there as well.
Well,
And it might be worth noting which runes they're carving.
Yeah.
It might be more than just an innocent prank.
We still have time before bed. We might as well go check it out.
Don't see why not.
I wasn't going to sleep anyway, so yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we should not all go. I think if it would be easier to hide and watch the place if only like one or two of us do it.
I'm not against this. It's pretty fine.
Who wants to remain and who wants to go?
I'll go.
I'll join you.
Well-
Might be a good chance to catch up.
It was my idea, so I might as well go as well.
Don't you have elixirs to prepare?
Nah, elixirs are better prepared in the morning.
Well, I've been away for a while, so better to catch up with you guys. So, I'll go with you.
So I guess we're all going, except for you, Emaírel.
I mean, what else is there to do in a town like this?
Yes, nothing
I'm
better
not
to
gonna
do
be in a
tonight.
cell.
Okay, so you're all heading out to the memorial?
Yeah.
Okay, so as the night starts to get darker around you, the town starts to get quieter. You make your way over to the memorial that you had already visited sometime before. It's a 20-foot tall, moss-covered stone statue that overlooks the river. The statue itself depicts a proud, muscular human man dressed in leathers and wielding a truncheon. Apparently, it's a depiction of Warden Hawkran. There is a total of 25 names, which is a list of the guards who died in the fire of 4661, as well as the warden's wife, Visoriana. All names are chiseled into the statue's stone base. It is a bit of a spooky ambience around here, especially now during these dusky hours.
So yeah, now we can reclassify him as a proper victim now. Victim of a kidnapping.
Well, his ghost was kidnapped. I take note of the runes. Well,
Well,
no,
is-
I
Was it vandalized?
Has it been vandalized again?
It has been vandalized. Apparently, they have not yet managed to clean it up. There is, with a thick red paint, someone painted the letter E on the base of the monument.
Are there any runes?
No.
No runes.
I'm gonna look the whole monument over thoroughly to see if there's any other way it looks like it's been messed with.
Okay, give me a perception check. I'm gonna need a second here. Hmm. 15. Yeah, you carefully inspected. Most of it has been overgrown by moss, so it's easy to exclude that from your inspection because it wouldn't have grown back so quickly. And other than that, giant letter with thick brush strokes, you don't find any other desecrations.
Is the paint dry? Does it look like? Can we get a sense of how long it's been on there?
Yeah, you give it a fingernail test, and it peels off easily. So it is pretty dry. It must have been on here for at least a day.
But they were scrubbing the memorial, what, like 2-3 days ago?
Yeah, after the first one. You can give me a survival check if you're trained in that.
Well, I would like to do a survival to see if I can see any footsteps around the banks of the river.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm just wondering if there's fresh tracks.
Oof, not great.
Crow, he kind of fingers the red paint, the little flecks of it between his hands for a second, and it's weirdly crusty and dark, and he flicks it away. He goes, "This isn't paint."
What is that? What is it then?
What do you think?
Oh, tell me it's not.
What?
It's blood, isn't it?
And fairly fresh. Fairly.
Can you tell if it's human?
Simon, can I tell if blood is from a human?
Oh,
No.
Tastes like be positive. No.
No, just Geier doesn't know that.
What do you take me for? Some sort of vampire?
I've seen you do strange things, the whole lot of you.
Emarél is going to take a look around and detect magic, see if anything pops up.
No. No magic.
No tracks around the banks of the river.
No.
The townsfolk blamed the kids for this vandalization. I don't think teenagers are coming out here painting it with blood.
Well, yeah. Do we remember which was written on previous desecrations?
Did we? I don't think we actually. Did we get to see the previous vandalization, or we just saw them like cleaning it away, didn't we?
Yeah.
We would have to ask, I suppose, whoever came from the temple to clean it. Wasn't it like an alkalite?
Oh, most likely.
I'm just trying to recall because we did come across it as they were like cleaning it up before.
Yeah, I'm quite sure it was an acolyte.
Okay.
Well, I was planning on going to the temple anyway. Get the blessing of the priest. Can't hurt.
Do we have enough funds to get more holy water?
I mean, we have gained Father Grimbear's favor. Perhaps he can give us a fair price for them.
Yeah, but we still need to pay for that.
Don't look at me.
Well, I have no cash, but I could perhaps offer to work for it at some later date if we don't die. It won't hurt to ask. But let's hurry before it's too late and he goes to bed.
Well, even if he does go to bed, we always can ask around for some acolytes. They don't need sleep anyway.
And off we go
To the temple?
to the temple.
Okay. Yeah, the temple was the public part of it has been closed for the night, but of course the door to the main chapel is always open to visitors, even during the night. And when you knock on the door, a drowsy-looking acolyte opens it up soon after, and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have an appointment with the father?" She blinks several times.
Were you the acolyte that cleaned up the Harrowstone memorial?
No, I know. I was supposed to. I didn't get around to it yet. I'm gonna do it first thing in the morning. Sorry about that.
Well, it's still... desecrate it. Were you the one that cleaned it before, or was that another acolyte?
No, that was not me.
Oh. Well, who was it then?
I'm sorry, I don't know, but why would you want to know?
Someone. I look at my companion.
We're hoping to speak with him or her, if possible.
Well, we were mostly interested in the nature of these vandalisms.
Well, if you, I can find out for you tomorrow. But most everyone has retreated for the night already, so I'm sorry if I can't help you right this second. Unless if you have any particular questions, maybe I can be of service. But there's little to learn anyway. It's just
Have you
some.
by any chance heard of what was written on the monument in previous desecrations?
Written? Oh, I don't think there was much written on it. It was just more like a tag. I'm sure it's some sort of symbol that makes sense for them. It was just a single glyph of some sort.
I mean, kind of like a letter, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Show us.
Well, I mean, I suppose no need to show us. You could just tell what it resembled. If it,
Well, it kind of looked like a V. I guess.
I see.
But it wouldn't make sense to just
Yeah.
paint a single letter.
I know.
So
And that's it. Were there previous ones, or was it only V?
No, that was the first time we've heard of it.
I see.
So, do you have any further questions? I'm sure I could find the acolyte that cleaned it last time.
No,
And-
I think that would be enough. Thank you.
The glyph was written in red paint, was it not?
Some brownish red paint. Yeah, I'm sure. It came off rather easily, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is no need to disturb the other acolytes in that case.
I do enjoy pestering the acolytes, but you're probably right.
Okay.
At what time does Father Grimbarrow rise?
And with the sun.
And we shall pay our respects in the morning then.
Okay, I will make sure to let him know. Anything else?
That'll be it.
Okay. So you take your leave, and it's now well into the night. Where do you want to go?
I think it's time we call it a night. I don't think we're
Yeah.
going to learn more.
Yeah, Crow's just heading back to the mansion.
Okay. So, especially on this part of the river where it's not so densely populated, the town gets very dark. You can hear the cicadas make their buzzing sounds as you make your way back to town. It's quite peaceful. An odd contrast to what you've experienced in the last couple of days.
You'd almost think there wasn't evil lurking around. The Whispering Way crawling through these streets, vandalizing and plotting and conniving, and the hateful dead, restless spirits down in Harrowstone. It almost feels nice, doesn't it?
When you get back to the mansion, the place is already dark, and you quietly make your way to your respective rooms. Anything else you want to do tonight, or should we skip ahead?
It's already dark. Like Kendra's already gone to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at
It's
this
late.
point we are going to sleep, I suppose, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. The next morning, you all rise as you're used to, and you gather in the dining room where Kendra has already prepared a nice breakfast, as she tends to do. And as you help yourself, she comes in, helping herself to some tea and pouring each one of you a cup as well, if you like some. And she says, well, I don't know if you've already been outside today, but the town is quite abuzz with the news. It sounds like somebody is finally taking action on the strange events of the last couple of days. They've called for a town meeting tonight at sunset. Everybody in town is invited, even guests.
Then, suppose we should attend.
I don't know. Is that so?
Yes, it is. I just told you.
Well, yes. I hope we will be able to make it in time.
Do you happen to know who is calling for this town meeting?
It is the town council itself. It is going to be held at the town hall. It's a very official business, and I believe that the town council wants to assuage people's fears by showing some authority on the whole situation, although I wonder what exactly it is they figure that could be done about it.
How many are on the council since the passing of Councilman
Murica?
Marigar? Yes, Marigar.
Yeah, since there used to be always 4, but since he's passed, there are only 3 left, and I believe it will take some time until they will appoint a 4th one.
Yes, that's Councilwoman Mitra and the others. Do you know?
Yeah, there's Councilwoman Shonda, Shonda Faravan is her name in full, and then there is Councilman Vashian Hearthmouth, which you've already met at the opening of the Testament, since he's not only a councilman but also in charge of these sort of notary functions.
Do you believe we would be welcome there?
Well, they've expressly invited even temporary citizens of the town to the meeting, so since I don't believe anyone else here keeps any guests around, I'm sure that this was a direct invitation to the lot of you.
We will be happy to attend, but we have some pressing matter to deal with first.
Sure. Do whatever you must. Go if you like. Don't go if you can't. I just thought I would let you know. I'll certainly make sure to be there, since I'm trying to be a productive part of this community.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me.
Of
We
course.
appreciate that.
And we do our best to be present as well, especially since it takes on the sunset. So I hope we will conclude our business by that point. At least for a moment.
So, I do not know what kind of preparations you need to carry out. I personally would like to speak to Father Grimbarrow, perhaps inquire about procuring more holy water, and for him to bestow his blessing on me. If anybody would care to accompany me.
So we are still going today, and then we'll try to attend the meeting at night. Shouldn't we maybe take this day off and see what happens at the meeting?
I mean, I very much doubt that the Hateful Dead will also take the day off. The Whispering Way put their agenda on hold while we deal with the bureaucracy of running a town.
It may be good if we could attend the town meeting with a little more concrete things to offer, aside from some hooded, cloaked, masked men slaughtered the local professor.
Yeah, talks of the Whispering Way and restless ghosts. Which is why I believe we have no time to lose. So I will be making my way to the Temple of Pharasma if anybody cares to accompany me.
I still need to produce some of my elixirs and mutagens, so I will have to stay here for the following hour or so.
Yeah, Emaárel will stay back at the mansion for a while too.
As
Okay.
will Crow.
All right.
All right.
So Geier is gonna visit the temple.
Yes, I'm trying to see. I can't see if I have any money with me.
Huh. Well, last time I came with you, everything went to hell, but heck, why not? I can come with you. I think I can have some money to spare if needed.
It's for a good cause, I assure you.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I do have some. Yeah, so yeah. Let's be on our way then.
Okay. Yeah, you make your way to the temple, which has, of course, already opened up for the day. And you ask for Father Grimborough, I assume. And he, shortly after, sees you. And he says, Geier, my dear son, how are you keeping yourself?
I would like to say out of trouble, Father, but you know, the business of a gravedigger involves dirt.
It sure does.
And
why have you come to see me today?
Well, I would like for you to impart the blessing of Pharasma upon me as I go about making my daily tasks, and to inquire if perhaps you could produce some holy water for us. I would be happy to pay both with coin and my labor, of course.
Well, after you have drained our supplies last time, we have, of course, stocked up again, and we indeed have a couple of them to sell. How many are you looking for?
Well, as many as you can spare, Father.
I mean, you don't have infinite money, so...
No, but I turned to Alaric. I have no idea how many.
So a flask is 25 gold pieces, just so you know.
Okay.
How much is one? Is for each one?
25
maybe we can
gold.
do it like 2 or 3.
You can spare
You have some cash.
about 4 if needed.
Let's take. I mean, we can pool our resources. Get 5, 1 for each of the Hateful Dead.
All right. So you get 5 flasks of holy water.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
But you could have just as well gotten that from any of my acolytes.
Well, but I could not have gotten the blessing of Pharasma from you. From them.
No, of course you could have. They are on their way to being ordained priests of the Lady of the Graves. And through them, the lady also extends her blessings.
In that case, I am sorry to have disturbed you, and will keep that in mind for the future.
That is okay. I'm always glad to see you.
I will
Mostly.
be sure to let you know how it goes.
All right. So you let yourself be blessed by the father, who utters an aphorism, which goes, wait a second, where is it? Oh, there it is. What we shall be has not been revealed. Not this year, not yet. The lady shall keep it. And with those words, he releases you again. Okay, so back at the mansion, I hear...
Alex,
What?
how many did you pay for and how many did I pay for? Because that is
That's the
125 in cash.
For 4? So it was
Did you pay
100.
for 4? So I only paid
Yes.
for 1.
Yes.
Ah, cool. Okay.
Okay, back at the mansion, I hear that Crow gets up from the breakfast table and tries to find Kendra.
Yeah.
And you catch her in the hallway on her way upstairs to her father's study.
Miss Lormore, were you able to attend to the matter that we discussed yesterday?
Sorry, you're gonna have to help me with that.
The gold.
The gold.
I think Kendra gave him in advance.
Oh, did she give
Yeah.
him the advance, or did she? I thought she said she had to go and like get it.
I did not make a note that I have any of that stuff left to do, so I would assume that she gave you that advance.
Oh, okay. Well then, in that case, as he's passing her in the hall, he'll just say, "Miss Lormore, I just wanted to thank you for handling that matter yesterday so discreetly."
Oh, of course. I know how these things can be challenging sometimes.
I know that it is difficult with your father's passing, but in many ways, I think that he only wanted to protect you.
She sighs and she says, "Yes, you're absolutely right. All he ever wanted was to protect me. You know what they say about the golden cage? I sometimes feel like I spent my entire life in one."
Yes, and sometimes when the golden cage is to keep you in and keep others out.
Yes, that's true. And my dear father even managed to keep that cage locked after his death, it seems. Well, at least for a few more weeks. And then
Yes.
I will be all hair, she said, and gives you a little smile.
What was that? And then she'll be all what?
Out of your hair.
Okay. he nods to that. He says he's about to like turn away and go down the hallway, and then he stops and looks at her and says, I saw you once before, a long time ago.
You did?
Yes, it was in Lepidstad. We were both much younger.
I see. Oh, I'm terribly sorry that I did not remember that encounter.
No, you would not have remembered it. I saw you through a window. I was outside and you were in.
Huh. And, is there any reason you bring this up now?
Your father did a lot of protecting. Like I said, that golden cage kept some people out and some people in. And, well, as I've said, I owe him a great deal. But sometimes I wonder if he did a little too much protecting.
I wonder that, too. Sometimes. He always protected everyone except for himself. See where that got him.
We are finding answers, you know. We are in pursuit of them.
You are?
Indeed.
Well, if you find any, I would be most interested to hear them.
There will be a more appropriate time, I feel, than standing in a hallway here.
Yes, of course. But thank you for at least letting me know that you're working on it.
I assure you we are not idle.
Good, she says, and turns and leaves.
Crow kind of watches her for a second and then turns away himself.
All right. Anything the others want to do before Alaric and Geier return from the temple?
Well, I'm mostly preparing my extracts and my mutagens, so...
Oh, okay. How about Emaírel?
He will identify whatever he did not manage to identify last time.
Mm-hmm.
And this time without rolling.
Oh, right. So what have we got?
There were 2 sets of arrows.
Yeah. Which ones did you already identify?
The +1 arrows, the 10 +1 arrows. So there's two bundles of 5 and of 2.
Yeah, and you don't need to roll anymore because you have enough ranks, or what was the deal with that?
No, it's an ability. I'll paste it in the chat. Well, basically, I'll just paste it. It's just spend 1 minute handling an item and you just know it.
Okay. So you sort of feel the arrows a little bit. You move them from hand to hand. You let your hand glide along the ornated wood, and you play with the feathers at the is it called the fletchling of the arrows? And you close your eyes, you dive into the past of these items, and thus learn about their present. And you identify them as 5+1 ghost touch arrows and 2+1 undead bane arrows.
Mm-hmm.
However, they have not been used in a long time, so the second part of the ability doesn't apply here.
The two are also +1 undead bane, right?
Yes.
And there was a scroll marked S8.
Yep. And that is a scroll of lesser restoration.
And finally, he is going to take the planchette and empty vials. Even though he already had identified it, he's also going to give it another pass and just make sure that he has the right idea.
Yeah, so wait a second. So what did you already learn about those items?
Where was it? I think it was that they can be used to trap spirits. And that there were I did not write it down. There were there was one used out of 6.
Mm-hmm.
But you have not learned their actual mechanical properties and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you learn those now. I'm just gonna paste their description into the player part of the handout, so you find a description for them here. And the spirit planchette is rather complicated, so make sure to read it. Something weird happened to my Roll20. I'm pop out of the Roll20 and come back in.
Mm-hmm. So this is another thing I can throw with extra damage.
Well, I don't think they are thrown. You just open them.
The last paragraph.
Once it sucks, if it siphons the haunt successfully, if it reduces the haunt to 0 hit points, then it can be used as a splash weapon.
Oh.
Negative energy. I just want to take this opportunity to say Crow's also going to spend that 20 gold he has then and craft 2 pellet cartridges and 1 bullet cartridge.
All right. And let me know when you're ready to move on.
Geier's ready.
Yeah, I'm ready as well.
Did I get that right? It was one siphon used out of 6?
Yes, I believe so. But I believe that one was missing. That was the idea. Let me check. Yeah, along the vials sit in the velvet-lined indentations to the left of the spirit board and planchette, along with 6 empty indentions. The professor must have made off with most of the vials, but left these 4 behind. So it's 4 vials.
Okay.
They can all still be used.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Very well then. So, at least now we have something to show these pesky haunts. So now I won't feel now so haunted anymore in the Harrowstone. Yes, hopefully.
So, what are you gonna do?
Well, I suppose if we want to make it in time for the city hall meeting, we should move out right away. And this time not spend too much time in the Harrowstone and check the room with prisoners' belongings before, well, as soon as possible, and maybe try to locate at least 1 or 2 spirits and return as soon as possible.
Okay, so you want to head out back to the Harrowstone?
Yep.
Okay. So once again, you journey and make your way south on that partially overgrown track, winding around the base of the hill, and then back up along its southern slope to the prison itself. And you stand once again before the ruined prison entrance.
Let's be careful just in case if those things try to lock us up again.
You climb over the destroyed walls and rubble in the entrance area, and you carefully step into the foyer that was haunted the day before, but apparently your thorough destruction of all the entrances also destroyed any otherworldly corruptions of the room. So
Good.
You can keep moving into the next room, yeah.
So, she said that it would be on southeast, so we should go right, right?
That would be southeast, yeah.
Light, please. Anyone?
Does nobody have light?
I think Geier has.
Yeah, sorry, I had it on mute and was talking to myself, wondering why nobody answered me. So yeah, Geier takes out his lantern.
Okay.
Good lantern.
Not that
So
he
where do
needs
you
it,
go?
but it's nice and creepy. So, where do we go first? To the Father Charlatan Corvin?
First,
Oh no, we first need to get the...
get their stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, does anybody know the way?
Well, she said southeast, so to the right we go. Says Dr. Arronax and steps forward.
Mm-hmm. And you step into the room next door, which is an auditorium of some sort with several rows of wooden benches, all spotted with mold and sagging with neglect, face the stage, walled off from the rest of the room by a wall of iron bars. So this wall here, that's actually iron bars, so you can see through them, but you cannot walk through them.
Oh, sorry about that.
And as you walk past that wall of iron bars, you walk right into something. Give me a second here. Give me perception checks, please. Uh, 11, 20, 12. Okay. So you all, as you walk across the room, you all notice a sudden temperature drop. Roll for initiative.
Oh.
Crow and Gaia, you can act before anything else happens. So Crow goes first.
Crow is he's kind of looking forward at Geier, looking at the doors ahead, and suddenly he notices that like his breath is condensing in front of his face, and just says, "It's cold," and he's gonna step back.
Well, you all notice it when you're here, more like it. So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Steps
Yeah,
back.
there.
Gaia?
Geier also instinctively takes only one step back and kind of like push with his hand outstretched, kind of like, holds back Emaériel. That's it. This is colder than a grave. Halt.
And yeah, then stands ready.
Okay. Okay. As you stand there, everyone but Crow, who managed to get far away enough, the temperature appears to be dropping even further. And you get this chilling feeling down to your bones. You get the sense as if the entire auditorium watching judgment being passed upon you. And I will need fortitude saves from everyone, except Grow. Okay, yeah, it's really cold and really unsettling, but you take no more harm. I shouldn't have really released the initiative, but we're still going round by round, but we don't really need the exact order of things. So Alaric, you're up next.
Okay.
It's still cold.
Oh, it's getting a lot colder now. I don't like this. Just, well, I don't see a lot to do right now. Just stay there in place, trying to wonder what's going on.
Okay.
Safe over here.
Doctor?
Well, Doctor hears that there is safe over there, so he shakes himself up and goes to check that. So he moves next to the crow, and is it getting any warmer?
Slightly, yeah.
Oh. It is getting slightly warmer indeed.
That's it?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Emaírel?
This is a regular round now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he will take a 5-foot step towards the doors and try to open them.
Give me a second. Yeah, the door, like all the others that you've encountered so far, is made of wood and hangs rotten on its hinges, but it's swollen slightly, so it's kind of stuck. Give me a strength check. But you push it open.
And I guess that leaves me with a standard action, I think. Or
Yeah.
in that case, I will move through.
Didn't you 5-foot step first?
It was 5-foot step, then whatever action it is to open the door.
That's a move action.
For standard.
Yeah, but you can't take a 5-foot step if you move that round. If you move any distance that round.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, it's just gonna stay there.
Okay.
Can't wait
Crow.
for second edition.
Crow.
Yeah. So seeing the door open, Crow is going to he's gonna pull his overcoat tighter around him, and he's just gonna try to move through. I guess like double move through.
All right. You charge right through, and as you pass by that spot that was so cold before, for a split second there, you can feel those unseen fingers of cold reach out for you, trying to get under your coat. But you're running away from them and through the door. Gaia?
And I can't see anything.
Nope, there's no light. There's just a dark room.
Geier also moves forward, following his companions recklessly.
Okay. All right. We'll need another 40. And yeah, just from Alaric. Because you're still standing in that very cold spot, and it is now starting to take its toll on you. You take 1 point of strength damage.
One point of strength.
And then it's your turn.
Okay. Well, oh, here it is. Damn it. Yeah, I should have moved. Well, I moved. I crossed the door. Just sit besides. Besides Crow. And wait there.
Okay. Doctor?
Well, Doctor suddenly found himself... Yeah, he suddenly found himself to be alone in the dark in the haunted room. So he will suppress his like very strong urge to whimper, and he will once more shake himself up and run along with other people, spending his 2 move actions. Whew.
All right, Emaírel.
Yeah, like this.
He is going to move through.
Okay. All right, so you all just basically rush by that cold spot and into the next room, which has partially fallen into ruins. The northeast wall of the room has come down, revealing the dark, murky waters of the pond outside. Moldering training dummies and other similar equipment hint that this room may have once been a training area for the guards. In the northeast part of the room, the floor around a dark, jagged hole is surrounded by black scorch marks.
Geier, could you move closer?
This is getting ridiculous. Crow's gonna light a torch himself.
Or would you like to hold the lamp? I can see quite well in the dark. I usually just carry this to creep out the people back in Lippestadt, to be honest.
Sure, hand the lamp.
So I hand over my lamp.
Okay. Doesn't
Okay.
really solve the problem of there being more light, but
I gave Crow a torch anyway.
okay.
And Emaírel has a lamp now.
What's this? Is it like a well or something?
You go closer to the pit to inspect it. Especially the black scorch marks around it strike your curiosity. And as you come closer, you hear shrieking from the rubble over here. And 3 skulls shoot out of the pile of rock and wood, and they ignite into flames as they do so. And we're gonna go for initiative.
Second, somebody's ringing.
Roll20 is being very slow to respond.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so those 3 burning skulls shoot out of the piles of rubble, and one of them comes shooting right towards Emaәрel and tries to slam itself against him. And if but a 5 is surely a miss. Crow.
Crow is immediately going to drop his torch. He steps forward. He levels raw deal. Takes focused aim with his down the sights, I guess. I don't even know if they have sights on blunderbusses. I guess they do.
Blunderbusses doesn't need sights.
Doesn't really need sights. It's more like he holds it at waist height and just points it in that direction and fires, catching all 3 of them in the blast from his pellets.
Nice.
That's just one attack. I have to roll on all 3 of them, so
that attack counts for all 3 of them?
no, I have to roll each attack separately.
I'm just gonna assume top down.
Yeah, I didn't specify, so
Yeah.
wow.
Wow, yeah, wow indeed. But at least one of them, which was still in the process of peeling itself out of the pile of rubble, was still caught flat-footed by you, so you managed to blast it to pieces with your blunderbuss. However, the other 2, they don't even take any damage at all, because it's your shot goes way past them. Emaәрel.
He is going to take a move action to draw his thorn blade, which he can use one-handed. And he is going to attack the skull.
and you swing your blade with great elegance and slice the skull at jaw level. Just kind of rolls over the floor. Alaric?
Okay, I'll grab my light crossbow and have a clear shot for to this one from here.
Yeah, I think it's good enough.
Okay, and I try to
He's in
shoot.
melee, but that can't be
Oh.
helped. Right?
Sorry.
But your shot finds its target unerringly, and a well-placed bolt causes big cracks to open in the skull, and it goes down as well.
I am very sorry about that. I'm back. Sorry.
That's all right.
Don't worry.
Combat is
What?
just over.
We already took care of this.
Yeah.
Didn't want to cramp your style.
Yeah, as quick as they appeared, they were dispatched of.
Arronax already reached into his well, jacket for flasks of holy water, but seeing how everything ended before he could even say fuck, he somewhat relaxes. Like, so I wonder if this is the place. It seems to be southeast enough. Or
It appears what?
Well, there's nothing to do but search.
Yes, we are wondering if this is the room or if it is not the room yet with the belongings of the prisoners.
I think that this is a training room. The guard.
Crow finishes reloading his blunderbuss with more pellets, and he packs up his kit and he starts moving along. Actually, I guess first I'll look down into this hole.
Okay. So this jagged, suit-caked hole in the floor opens up to, if you shine your torchlight down there, appears to be a 20-foot drop to the area below. The edges of the hole are surprisingly stable, probably because the unstable portions have long since away the weight of easily several creatures. You could try to climb down there, but it would be pretty tough to do, since there's an overhang to deal with.
I think we're good.
I think we need to explore.
Well, I mean, as soon as we find those cursed belongings, we sure will.
What if they're down there?
Is there anything else of note in the room?
Yeah, I say we eliminate all the other options before we start climbing down into soot-stained holes.
Yeah, you check the room for anything else of interest or value, but you don't find anything.
You skipped there for a moment.
Is this a window I'm looking out?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, the ghost did say the southeast room.
Well, there is another path. You remember the auditorium? There was a part that was separated by bars. I think I may have seen a door that led out of there.
Going to have to go past that cold spot though on the way.
Well, both doors are open now. We can just run through it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What is this that we're seeing to the left here?
Those rooms? Yeah.
Probably just closets that have, the doors have just fallen in and there's nothing of value left in there. Probably used to store training equipment.
Okay. If you want to give that a try, Emaírel.
God, my Roll20 is acting up like crazy. It's pretty annoying.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's super laggy.
Am I the only one with a light right now?
You shouldn't be.
Emaírel has one too.
Okay.
And he's going to try to rush across.
Yeah, so you dash through, and you feel for a short, brief moment, you feel the chill of the cold spot, but you don't linger for it to cause any lasting effects.
Yeah, I would appreciate someone with a light running in first, because I really don't want to bump into closed doors by accident.
I remember.
Well, Emaírel has a light over there, so he and I might as well stand at the ends and everyone can run across.
I remember the way I follow the light and cross over. That's to Emaírel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, so you run across one by one. Each one of you, in passing, sensing the cold, but none of you take any damage from it. Yeah, this part behind the iron bars looks like where the arbiter must have sat, the one who would judge whoever would stand in front of the iron bars. There's still a desk and a chair that sit on the floor, severely rotten and moldy.
Is this door open?
Sorry, what was that?
Is this door open?
You broke down all the doors.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, in that
Did
case,
a fine job out of it.
yeah. Emaírel will try to move directly towards the door on the other side and give it a try.
And strength check again. Yeah, it takes some effort, but you wrestle it open, and you seem to be on the right track, because this room sorry about that. Just go back, please. hate
Oh.
when they do that. It's locked.
Oh. Well,
And it's not only locked, it's actually a metal door
Phew.
Oh.
that remains quite sound.
Well then, I mean,
Right.
thankfully we do have precision tools that can so conveniently double as a lockpicks. So let's try that then.
Mm-hmm.
While
Yeah.
he's working. Sorry.
No, you don't think you stand a chance cracking this lock. This must have been specifically crafted to protect this room from any unauthorized entry,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess is technically true for any lock, but you know what I mean.
So it seems we'll have to find the key after all.
Anything notable about the space that we're in right now?
No, other than the mold desk, there's nothing that strikes your interest.
Well, does the desk have the key in there?
It doesn't have a drawer or anything like that. It's just a simple wooden desk.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the room that we were in was some sort of training ground for the guards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe the next one would be some sort of guard quarters. If that's the case, maybe we'll find the key there.
Well, let's...
You want to go through that door to the north?
Well, sure, why not?
Yeah.
So you run past the cold spot once more.
Yep.
We're getting quite the workout.
What's that cold spot?
Best not to dwell on it.
Would it not be worth investigating what's at the end of this place?
What do you mean the end? The other end of the auditorium?
Yeah.
Are we able to see anything of note as we run through the auditorium on the far wall?
Well, I mean, you're running through it, so you only get a glimpse of it. And there is nothing that jumps out at you.
Just more rows of seats.
Yeah.
Something tells me we'll be in the room at least one more time.
At least.
What's this exactly? Is this like a deep? The water is deep, or?
Yeah, that's the part of the large pond that has gathered outside, in what looks or what appears to be a sort of sinkhole, as of a massive part underground has collapsed and made room for this sinkhole to form. And then it filled up with water from the nearby river.
What about the door next Emaírel?
Well, what about it?
Well, it needs to be opened.
Can we open it? Can we open it? Can we take...
Sure, you can try. Give me a strength check.
Every single door in this place.
Yeah, they're all all old and
We shouldn't even like try opening. Just go for the kill.
Okay.
We should have seen
but-
if we. We should have seen if we could have picked up a portable ram while we were in town.
You muscle open the door and enter a room that is dominated by a huge stone furnace, large enough for a child to climb inside.
How specific.
Yeah, weirdly specific, I know. An ancient fire has burned away the entire east room, providing a panoramic, if eerie, view of the lake beyond. That same lake has gradually expanded into the room, flooding its eastern half. The enormous furnace in the chamber is crowned by a soot-caked copper plaque over the furnace entrance that reads Ember Maw. And since Geier is already checking it out, you can give me a perception check.
Yes, sir. Should I close that?
No, only Geier. Oh, I guess if everybody moves there, then...
But I saw it first.
Well, it didn't see it as much as smelling at first, the scent of the sudden rising stink of burning flesh. And then you see something as you notice the face of the furnace beginning to animate slightly. I will need initiatives again.
Oh boy.
So who has the hound siphons on hand?
I believe that is Emaírel.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's about time to
To start siphoning.
Yes.
Should we keep them for the 5 guys?
Well, 5 guys are spirits; they are not haunts.
Alright.
Haunt siphons are to be used precisely in this very moment.
Crow would technically get to act first, but he's too far away to have a chance to notice the smell or anything like that. And we're talking about split seconds here. Emaírel, you already
He's just
rolled
on edge in general.
Right. Emaírel rolled perception earlier. I noticed 23. Yeah. So you also noticed that something is starting to animate the furnace.
Does Emaírel know about this distinction between haunts and spirits?
Well, it's a fine line. I don't know what you mean exactly.
Like the siphons with the planchette, can they be used against spirits and haunts? Like basically, can we use them against the five?
Spirit in game terms, spirit is not defined as a mechanic game term, so I don't know how to answer that question.
I think creatures are what you're looking for. Undead, incorporeal creatures. Would the siphon work on that?
No. They only work on haunts.
And we don't know whether the 5 bad guys would manifest as haunts or as creatures.
No, you don't.
Well, we may as well use one now and see what happens later. Is this a regular round?
It's a surprise round.
So only one move or standard. So Emaírel will take a move action to pull out one of the siphons, and that will be it.
Okay. Geier? You see the face of the furnace beginning to animate.
I will greet it. I will ask it, say your name. Who are you?
Okay. Your question is answered not with words, but with a sudden flare of fire within the, until just now, cold furnace. And it lights up the face of old Embermaw, which gives it the impression of a leering skull-like visage made of metal and bars. And as it roars, a fiery tongue lashes out from its maw to strike at Geier. What's your touch AC?
My touch AC is 11, but I have dodge, so I should get a +1 dodge bonus.
No,
So
it's,
12?
if your touch AC says 11, then it's usually calculated. Bonus is like... But nevertheless, it shoots its that ray of fire right past you. But it's not going out; it keeps burning. Doctor.
Well, at least it's not an inanimate object this time around.
So, is it a normal round now, or still surprise?
Still surprise round.
Then,
all right, you were also too far away to notice it, but now that it has acted, it's obvious.
You probably saw the fire.
yeah, Arronax will use his move action to pull out a flask of holy water.
Okay, Alaric.
Ooh, something. That Geier.
It's not very talkative.
Not very talkative. Oh. Is this like a place where I can use unseen reveal to use a perception check to detect haunt or incorporeal creatures? Or it's not like the right place.
You could have used that on that first.
In the cold room or where?
No, the first here in this room. Whenever I check.
Oh, okay. Now that we are in the battle, it's
Yeah,
what about?
it's just
okay,
to
okay.
notice it for the first time.
Okay. Well, I'll just. Not a lot of things to do here, but we'll just move here between Doctor and Crow. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, then regular round. Crow.
Yeah, Crow knows this isn't his area of expertise. He sees the doctor and he sees Emaírel getting ready to take whatever steps they're going to, and he just delays his turn.
All right, Emaírel.
We'll activate the siphon.
Okay, so let's walk ourselves through that. You activate the siphon. So you twist the metal casing to open the vial.
Yep.
And you activate it, and you deal 3d6 to the haunt. Go ahead. That's 9 points of damage. It's not enough to destroy it outright. So you did not reduce the haunt to 0 hit points. Yeah. But you severely damaged it. Geier?
Well, what Emaírel did looked very effective, so Geier will hop out of the way, but not too far. We'll take a 5-step beside Emaírel and be ready to help out in case it's needed.
Okay. Another lance of fire shoots out from old Embermaw. Left to right, 1, 2, 3. So Geier is the target again.
Yeah.
What's your touch again? 11?
Touch. Yeah, touch was touch AC is 14. Yeah, touch AC is 14. Flat-footed is 12.
Okay. So it once again misses you, but nimble reflex. Doctor.
Well, seeing how I suppose this thing at least recoiled from the Hound siphon, he will try to smirk and say, let's see how you like this one, and he will toss a flask of holy water right into the Cindermaw. What, Cindermaw? I mean
Embermaw.
Embermaw. Yeah. So that is, I suppose, also ranged attack.
Yeah, but as long as you don't roll a 1, it should hit. Yep, okay.
And 1d6 plus 4.
Holy water, I think, is not 1d6.
Okay, I really forgot by this point how.
I think it's 2d4.
Holy water. 2d4.
I see. Okay. Plus my intelligence. Well,
All right.
Nice.
that's not bad.
And the water, with a hissing sound, puts the fire out.
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
Next time you ought to do that before you go opening the siphon.
Yeah, I suppose that's a thing we learned today.
Huh.
Is there anything inside?
Give me a second. I just need to make a note. So. So you want to look into Ember?
Well,
Yeah.
Dr. Arronax is not exactly an expert on these spiritual things, but well, he might have heard a thing or two that these haunts manifest themselves around some, things.
Mhm.
So if we clean out this chimney, it might prevent it from resetting.
So Emaírel opens the maw itself and looks inside, and then something catches his eye, and he leans in even closer to climb into it halfway, and then he gets a hold of it. It's part of a skull. And then you sift through the rest of the ashes, and you find some ribs and a few finger bones and other skeletal remains. And what's surprising is, even though the furnace itself is entirely cool, the bones feel hot to the touch.
Mm-hmm.
Geier, maybe this is for you to deal with.
Yeah.
More of a gravedigger. I didn't really deal with incinerators, but I'll give it a look. And I roll profession Gravedigger, I suppose.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I don't have it on the macro.
Well, like you just said, you're more acquainted to burials than to incinerators.
Cremations, yeah. Cremations are not my area.
Yeah, they're not, but you do know that a properly done cremation would not leave remains like this. But, I mean, obviously this furnace was never used to be a crematory.
All right, I remark that this was not designed to rid of or process the deadly remains of people. This had a more nefarious purpose, from what I can see.
Well, perhaps we might, at least bury them just in case.
Yeah, if this were a proper crematorium, there would be no remains, only ash. But this is evil.
Crow's kind of standing well away from it, but he calls out, like, what would something like that even be doing in here? I mean, I don't understand what this place is. Is it an asylum, a prison, what is that?
Well, perhaps if you wanted to get rid of a dead prisoner without much care of the remains, this could serve the purpose.
You said yourself it's not for cremations.
No, but it's still a disposal method. Unless it's a furnace for another purpose and somebody threw bodies in here.
Why put a face on it? Why make it look so ghastly?
Just look around you. Why not?
I mean, the place didn't always used to look like this.
Maybe if you gave it a normal burial, it would help.
Oh, we can try. And I pick up the remains carefully and respectfully. And without care for my person, I really sift through the ashes and make sure I gather everything.
Okay.
It's the remains of only one person, right?
Seems about it, yeah.
Okay. I carefully place them to the side. All this is sand, right? Or what is it? Or like I find like a nice spot of earth.
There's no earth here. We are inside a building.
I thought this was like part of like the outside where the water.
Yeah, the water, but the water has seeped into the building.
Okay, no then. I can't very well bury it here. We would need to take it outside. Find a nice spot of earth, preferably, I mean, in the restlands. But
as you handle it, it is getting quite uncomfortably warm the entire time.
And I need to place it somewhere. It's not natural. It's burning. Does anybody have a container, a box, anything? I place it carefully to the side before it hurts me.
Should take it to the cold spot.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. Yes, to the cold spot. That makes perfect sense.
Well,
I'm not sure it makes perfect sense at all, but
well, I mean, hot, cold, why not?
Yeah.
And Geier hurries off with a purpose.
Now I see Geier running through the asylum, being like, "Ouch! Ouch! 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 Ouch!"
Right.
But yeah.
I place it like where I'm standing, and then head back out. Just take a look, see if anything happens.
Okay, so give me a fortitude save, because if you run there, drop it, and then turn it back and run away, you're gonna have to end your turn there at some point.
Sure.
But you managed to avoid the strength damage. Oh, that's the fortitude save. Okay.
Yeah.
Thought the 11 was. Yeah, you avoid the strength damage and you rush back, but the pile of remains just sits there. Doesn't seem to interact with the cold spot in any way.
Well, I'm gonna leave them there for now and pick them up later.
Crow approaches Emaírel as all this is going on. Is Emaírel, tell me I'm not alone in this. Is something not strange about this place? We are helping the wife of this warden, but it is clear that there was cruelty here. They branded their prisoners and tortured them and did unspeakable things to them.
Well, those prisoners did unspeakable things to other people, you know.
Yeah, but this feels more than just punishment for their crimes. This feels like there was a purpose behind the cruelty. A plan.
Well, it does seem like a place full of torment on both sides. Do you think we should be wary of the warden's wife?
I'm wary of everything in here, but I think there is more to the story of this place than she is speaking.
Well, let's keep moving and hopefully we'll find our answers.
This might be the door that leads back to the auditorium.
Staying far away from that furnace.
I try the door.
Okay, give me a strength check. Yeah, it's stuck.
I try the door with my shovel.
And with Emaírel's help, you wrestle it open.
Quite strong for a doctor.
Emaírel is not a doctor.
Sorry, well, what he seems more the academic type is what I meant to say.
Scholar.
Yeah, that's the word.
Or something.
And yeah, you step into the room beyond the door, where several moldy cots lay strewn around the room, while doors to smaller, more private sleeping cells hang askew to the west. Judging from the rest of this room's decor, this must have once been the prison's infirmary.
Infirmary. Right next to the furnace.
Anything of note in the room?
So you start looking through the contents of the room. As Crow joins you in the search of the room, suddenly you hear a like a strong breeze. And you turn towards the center where you heard it emanate from. And rising up in the center of the room is what turns out to be a twisted, nearly skeletal ghost of a broken prisoner.
Oh no.
And as it swirls into existence, it is a truly terrifying sight. Emaírel, Geier, and Crow, I will need will saves.
I have a +2 against fear. 22.
Nice.
Yeah, I also have courageous +2 versus fear. Aw.
+2 versus fear, so that's 12. Okay, and initiative.
Oh, what an awful number.
Okay. So, where are the will saves? Geier 10 and Emaírel 4. Geier and Emaírel, you are both frightened by the sight. And then Geier, it's your turn.
Geier, visibly shaken, holds his shovel and with his other hand reaches for one of the holy water bottles and...
No, you're frightened. So you're free from the source of your fear as best as you can.
So I have to lean directly away, no?
Yeah.
Does that mean towards the door or towards the corner here?
Well, I think you would try to get out of the room.
Yeah. Out! Everybody out!
Dr. Geier comes running out of the room as just seen a ghost.
Huh. Well, at this point, it would be prudent to be prepared, so Dr. Arronax will test his new mutagen. He will, as a move action, will pull out a sparkling vial with a electric blue fluid, and as a standard action, he will drink it.
Okay.
Now, let me roll how exactly unstable mutagen I am getting. Yeah,
the ghostly apparition that swirled into existence continues to whirl like a like an incorporeal little tornado, and it becomes invisible. And just moments later, small chunks of debris start shooting towards you. So 7, 5, and 4, those all miss you, Crow. But it's still super weird that like little pieces of wood and rock would all of a sudden try to attack you.
Okay.
Emaírel, you're also frightened.
But since he can't see the thing, did it just disappear or did it like move?
It became invisible.
Well, I guess he would still like to run away and not just stay in the room.
Oh yeah, you're frightened, so you have to run.
It's like if you don't know where it is. Do you
Yeah,
know
technically you run away from the thing
where it was?
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah, I still think you would try to
Yeah.
escape the room.
All right.
Crow.
Crow's gonna call out, "Holy man, we need you in here!" And he's going to take he's not gonna leave the room, but he's going to take total defense for now.
Mm-hmm. Move action.
And he's just looking for the total defense is a standard, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He's just gonna stay put and keep looking for the ghost or for debris coming his way.
Okay. Alaric.
Okay. Alaric scream. Crow screaming. Rush into.
You're cutting in and out.
Oh. Alaric hears the screaming of Crow and rushes into the room. It's here. Oh, I'm very into here. And let me see. Grabs my holy symbol and channel positive energy through the room.
I think he just went AFK.
Sorry?
I think Simon just went AFK.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I think it was his connection with Flame.
Yeah, he wrote BRB.
Oh. Hopefully this work out. If not, I'm done.
Yeah, I think it's still here.
The power of positive thinking.
The power of positive energy.
Positive energy, that's right.
Boy, oh boy, will I need to get Ghost Touch on a gun.
Once your gun becomes enhanced to +1, Emaírel should be able to help you with that.
I don't know at what point my gun will become enhanced +1. I guess I could pay to have it enchanted, but it's a struggle just to keep rounds in this thing.
Sorry about that. My voice is really dying here. I just had a little coughing fit. Let's try to get through this encounter, but I think then we'll have to call it a night.
Yeah,
So,
let's finish this then.
Mhm.
Well, I rush into the room and grab my holy symbol, try to call out the thing using positive energy through the room.
All right.
I think that's 1d6, I think.
Just one?
Well, we're still what, third level or second level?
Second level.
Yeah.
Second level, but I think it's still 1 because the amount of damage dealt is equal to 1d6 points of damage plus 1d6 points of damage for every 2 cleric levels beyond first.
Oh, yeah, you're
like,
right. You're right. That's
two
second level.
D6
That's
appear.
still one.
Yeah, I will be able to do only 2 on third level, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I can do it twice if you want. Okay.
All right. Okay, so and he gets to make a will save. What's your DC? Your channel energy DC?
My DC, ooh, I shall get lost in this.
Basically 10 plus charisma. 11 plus charisma.
11 plus charisma. Oh, so it will be 11 plus charisma, 26
With charisma modifier.
plus 2. Yeah.
So 13. Okay, so it failed its save. So it takes 4 points of damage as the energy washes through the room, and you hear a disembodied scream. You can give me a perception check to pinpoint the direction. Crow and Alaric.
Yes.
Oh yeah, both of us. You're pretty good. So
It was
you-
very
you'd say-
loud scream, that one.
So from around here, from around that area. Guy and Emaírel, you're no longer frightened. And then Geier, it's your turn. Geier?
Oh, I was talking with the muted thing. Damn. Geier stops in his tracks and goes, I must go back there. He grabs with a shaking hand one of the holy waters and splashes some on his shovel. And then runs back in there towards the source of the sound. But apparently sees nothing. Where is it?
Over there! And Crow points up to the northwest corner.
Yeah, but I think that's about my turn.
Okay. Doctor?
Yeah. Meanwhile, while Geier was shaking up, Dr. Arronax was also shaking up, and very, very vigorously as his mutagen took effect. If previously usually he bulked up when he drank his mutagen. This time, something else happens. His limbs become somewhat longer and protrude from his suit in a rather disproportionate way. Like fingers elongate, and he becomes like a bit taller, and he positively vibrates with with energy within himself. I think I overdid with caffeine this time. Never. That's not that doesn't matter really, though. He steps inside. 5. Where is it? Show me.
Crow points again, northwest corner.
I see. With
Just right there.
yeah, with shaking fingers, he reaches into his jacket and no time for holy water, so try this. And he throws a sparkling vial into the corner, throwing a bomb.
Where do you throw
it? Somewhere here, into intersection.
You got to target. Yeah, you got to target an intersection.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So which one? Carnus?
Yes. I think this one.
Okay. And it's fire damage. Okay, so first of all, it gets a reflex save.
Mm-hmm.
Failed, but then it also only takes half damage
Yeah.
because it's incorporeal.
That's
So what's the minimum damage?
5.
Oh, so that is already... No, wait. Yeah, so 5 would be full. So, yeah. It only takes a little bit of damage, not enough to scream as much as it did before. Yeah, more pieces of debris and chunks of wood being ripped out of the wooden benches or the cots come flying towards you. Geier, Alaric, and Crow each get 1 hit. 19 for Geier, 22 for Alaric, 23 for Crow, but not confirmed. Yeah, it's 2 for 1 points of damage.
1. Okay.
How many damage then?
2 points of damage?
Geier has a 19 to attack for 2 damage.
Yeah.
Alaric is a 22 to attack for 4 points damage. And
Cool.
Crow is a 23 to attack for 1 point damage. And then it's Emerald's turn.
Emaírel will turn around and go back into the room. And he will move inside again.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right, Crow.
Yeah, Crow is just going to keep taking that total defense.
Okay. Alaric.
Whew. Well, I'll keep using my holy symbol to channel positive energy. Try to finish this thing or even pinpoint his location again. Second one. Alright.
Okay, so you
Whew.
try to channel once more, but it makes
my
its
God.
save.
Oh.
It doesn't give away its location. Gaia.
It doesn't, or it does give away.
It
its
doesn't.
location? Ah.
Does not.
Well, Geier takes a defensive stance, kind of waving his shovel in front of him. Stay back, creature! Stay back! And goes into full defense.
Kind of beating back the pieces of debris that come flying towards us.
Yeah, just like,
Clung.
gun!
Doctor.
Well, now since now he has time to use a move action to pull out another flask of holy water. Can he try to pinpoint it where it can be in perception?
That would be another action.
Okay, then he will try to throw it into the same intersection then.
Yeah, you throw it and it smashes open, but nothing happens. It just gets the corner wet.
Well, that's not good.
More debris comes flying. Gaia, you've been waiting for it with your shovel in your hand. You beat it back. Alaric, you get hit by a piece for 1 point of damage. And Emaírel, 22 to hit. Emaírel, 22 to hit
Yep. Take
for 2 points of damage. And then it's your turn.
Emaírel will start up a detect magic and try to pinpoint the creature with that.
Sorry, what?
He will start detecting magic and try to pinpoint the creature with that.
Okay. But that's... I mean, you need to concentrate for 3 rounds before you know the location. And then when it moves, you're gonna have to start over again. I'm just saying that it's not a very efficient tactic to do that.
I thought that the first round gave you whether
only the presence, but the location takes 3 rounds.
Okay. Well, in that case, he's going to take total defense 2 and move over here.
Okay. Crow.
Crow is going to... Crow's going to take out a vial of holy water and he's going to ready an action to throw it if he can get at least a rough idea of where the poltergeist is.
All right, Alaric.
Okay, guys, this is one of the reasons right now, and channel my positive energy through my holy symbol. Let's see if this hits again.
One more will save for the creature. Oh boy.
Wow.
Yeah, he'll channel, but very little happens. Geier.
Geier remains
Okay, Doctor.
defensive, yeah.
Well, since that corner was already covered, he will pick out a bomb this time and throw it here.
Okay. Good choice. It failed its reflex save, so that is the 5 points would be the full damage, right?
Yes.
So it gets burned for 2 more points. But you probably don't even know that. I don't think. Whoosh, you just all feel a breeze go through the room as you can at best notice that it changed location, but you can't tell where exactly it went. I might say that since it changed location after the doctor threw his bomb, that may be enough for Crow to trigger his readied action.
You mean before or after it moves?
Well, readied actions kind of disrupt the other actions, so as it moves.
Okay,
at the same time.
So do I get any sense that that the doctor actually hit it when he threw his bomb?
I guess so. Yeah,
Does it make some sort of noise or something?
something like that.
Okay.
Or
I'll-
maybe the way that the smoke sort of swirled in a weird way kind of makes it look like maybe it's there. It's about to move.
Okay. So the range increment for ranged weapons is 10 feet normally, right?
Yeah.
So this is like is it like 20 feet to that
Yeah.
corner? Okay. So it's a -1 or -2.
That's a
Dex. Yeah.
-2. Yeah.
Shouldn't it be just one? Isn't the first increment always free?
No, but
Oh,
each range increment's a -2 penalty.
Oh,
Yeah. So 10 and more, I guess, is -1, and 20 and more would be -2. Okay, that's a hit. And 2d4 plus 2? No, just 2d4.
Five.
Wait, but how does the splash damage work with holy water? Because that's the direct damage, is the right?
That's true.
Well, if it's splash damage is minimum damage, then it is just 2.
No, it's 1 point even. Each creature within 5 feet of the point where the flask hit takes 1 point of damage from the splash. That minimum thing is an alchemist thing. Alright, so but it triggered, and then the smoke from the bomb explosion is sort of swirled as the poltergeist moves through, and then more pieces of debris start zipping through the room and attack Emaírel Naėllarían and Geier. 6, 17, and 7 to hit. Alaric is 17. Alaric,
Yes, I lost you there.
17 to hit.
Something to hit. No, it hit. 15.
That's 3 points of damage. And Emaírel, your turn.
Emaírel will reach into his backpack, pull out another Hound Siphon, and try it out.
And you crack it open, but nothing happens. Alaric, your turn.
Okay. I'll try my second to last positive energy today.
Okay. It made it safe.
And it's 1 again.
Yeah, there's another one. Gaia, your turn.
Not even enough to find it.
This time, Geier will prepare to swing at anything that moves. So instead of going defensive, we're already an attack action, just
Okay.
in case.
If anything comes close enough.
Exactly.
Doctor?
He will continue throwing his bombs, this time moving to this corner.
Okay. You throw the bomb, it goes off, it blasts a good chunk of the bench, but no hit on the poltergeist. Crow.
Yeah, I think Crow's kind of out of options, so he's going to hop over this table here, or I guess it's a table, bench, something like that, and
Yeah.
he's going to just try to take cover behind it.
Okay. The bench or cot that was blasted by the doctor, some of those chunks now fly towards Emaírel, Geier, and Alaric.
Yep.
Geier is critically hit by one of them.
Ouch.
Do we draw a card?
I'm giving him a card as we speak. Dealing him a
Wait,
card.
was it an attack of opportunity? No, right?
No. So there you go. You should play it for everyone to see.
Critical. It's the one below, right?
No, you should have a card that I just dealt you.
Oh, right. I was looking at the deck.
Just pull it onto the playing area.
I am putting it on. Oh, right.
Okay.
No, I can't see it.
Yeah, I see it. So this is bludgeoning, which means you get a dent in your armor.
Which I don't
Jeez,
have.
You're not wearing any armor.
I'm not wearing any armor.
All right, so I guess you just get a dent in your skin. So that's
That sounds worse.
7 points of damage.
Ow.
And Emaírel, your turn.
Oh, that cracked a rib. That for sure cracked a rib. Is that blood?
Just a second. It's not useful. I don't know what we can do.
Who has the ghost touch arrows?
I think Emaírel does.
Well, let's pull out at least one and start waving it around. Well, you're laughing at how. Do you have any other means to locate the intangible ghost?
Yeah, we gotta locate this thing. I'm thinking.
And it's the only ghost touch thing we have.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess Emaírel will take a move action to pull out one of the ghost touch arrows.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to blindly swirl it.
Swings it around in a wide circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it doesn't meet any resistance. So it's apparently not on any of the squares surrounding you, adjacent to you. Alaric.
Oh my god, what a pain in the ass. Okay, first I'll move back a little bit. I want to keep. Oh, okay. Control last effort of energy.
And made it safe.
Really?
I think this time it will be.
But that 1 point is actually enough to banish it. You don't really realize that you were successful until you notice that the debris stops flying through the room, no longer is attacking you, and thus you conclude you must have successfully banished it, at least for now.
I was getting ready for the most painful Minesweeper game ever.
I was about to knock it down next turn. Geier clutches at his side. Oh, I think that cracked a rib or two.
All right, but we'll get to your rip and everybody else's next time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, go heal your throat now.
When shall that time be?
Wait. First, we'll have another little story. Ilmarsh, 4661, Absalom Reckoning. A fireplace warmly illuminates an woman's humble cabin. The wind whipping the waters of Avalon Bay can be faintly heard in the background. Two little children, a boy and a girl, are sitting around the fireplace with their grandmother. Please, Granny, tell us the tale of the piper again, please. The old woman chuckles as she rocks back and forth in her rocking chair. All right, my little sticklebacks. She leans forward and turns away from the fire, eerily casting her face in shadow. You better be good, because the piper is going around Ilmarsh. If you have been naughty, you may hear his flute at night, playing a sad melody just for you. And then, one night, you fall asleep after dinner. And when you wake up, she pauses for dramatic effect and then suddenly slams her hand on the armor's rocking chair and yells, You look down and you see his pet Sturgis drinking your blood. The children wince at the sudden outburst and then laugh nervously. They jump up and run up to their grandmother. As they hug her, still laughing at the story, their skin reflects the fire with a silvery sheen. In the distance, the howling of the wind almost sounds like a sad song. And now we're done.
Mm-hmm.
The piper of Ilmarsh doused the meals of his victims with licked dust.
Lich dust, yeah.
Lich dust. Dun, dun, dun.
Yep, totally normal place,
Hmm.
Ilmarsh.
Sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Lovely this time of the year.
Nothing strange ever
Yeah.
came from Ilmarsh.
Yeah. Now, Simon, you go and lace your drink with a spoon of honey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I tried that.
When shall we meet again?
Let's see.